And so Moses, he sees the promised land. And then when you read through the last chapters of Deuteronomy, Moses anapeana his last blessings. Bless the 12 tribes za Israel, and he speaks greatly in his blessings of those tribes. And then later onwards, we see Moses, he passes away, and when he passes away, Joshua, God first buries Moses himself. Till this day, there's no one who knows where Moses is buried by God. And then later onwards, we see now Joshua. Joshua is used by God. And this is how he is used by God. You know, Joshua was Moses' main helper during those times. And Joshua, as Moses' helper, God, he gives him an assignment now to lead the Israelites since Moses is no more. And we'll read the book of Joshua. Joshua chapter 1. First Joshua chapter 1, verse 2 to 10. First Joshua chapter 1, verse 2 to 10. And we read, God is telling Joshua, Moses, my servant, is dead. Therefore, the time has come for you to lead these people, the Israelites, across the Jordan River into the land I am giving them. I promise you what I promised Moses. Wherever you set foot, you will be on land I have given you. From the Negev wilderness in the south to the Lebanon mountains in the north, from the Euphrates River in the east to the Mediterranean Sea in the west, including all the land of the Hittites, no one will be able to stand against you as long as you will live, for I will be with you as I was with Moses. I will not fail you or abandon you. Be strong and courageous, for you are the one who will lead these people to possess all the land I swore to their ancestors I will give them. Be strong and very courageous. Be careful to obey all the instructions Moses gave you. Do not deviate from them, turning either to the right or to the left. Then you will be successful in everything you do. Study this book of instructions continually. Meditate on it day and night, so you will be sure to obey everything written on it. Only then will you prosper and succeed in all you do. This is my command. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. So this is a conversation between Joshua and God. And now God is telling him, I will be with you wherever you go. This is my assignment to you. I want you to lead the Israelites to cross through the Jordan River to go to the promised land. And when you read through afterwards, after God has told Joshua that, you see that Joshua now anaanza prepare the Israelites. Anawaambia, he tells there are certain tribes. There is the tribe of, it's in chapter 2 to chapter 8, just read through. There are certain tribes that he tells them, remember everything that Moses has taught you and the instructions that God is going to give us. You follow them. And then later onwards, when you read through, you see Joshua, he secretly sends 2 spies into Jericho. Before they now possess the land that God has promised them, Joshua sends 2 spies to first go and see what is in that land, what is going on in that land. And we see that the 2 spies, they cross through the Jordan River. When they cross through the Jordan River, they set out, they see the land, and they come to the house of a prostitute named Rahab, and they stay there for the night. And you know they were sent there to gather information. And they're sent there to gather information. When you read and you get understanding of the book, you come to learn that actually it is Rahab who gives the spies the information that they need to know about the land that they are going to come and possess. And when you read through Joshua chapter 2, verse 8, it says, Rahab gives the information to the spies, and he says, before this, you know, he, first of all, before I say the message that he gave them, the king, when the spies go there and they sleep at Rahab's, the prostitute's house, the king, from the information he gathers, he comes to learn that the spies are here with us, and the spies being here with us, they're supposed to be searched for. So the king sends his soldiers to go and search for the spies. When the king sends his soldiers to go and search for the spies, the soldiers go, they are told that they are hidden, wamefichwa kwa nyumba ya Rahab. And when Rahab is asked by the soldiers, Rahab tells the soldiers, actually, walikuwa tu hapa sahi, and they left before the gates. The gates were closed. And after she has told them that, she tells them, you should start running to go and try to reach them, because the gates are about to be closed. So the soldiers, they go and they look for the spies. And Rahab, since amewaficha, during that time whenever they used to harvest, I think it was wheat or sorghum, either of the two, please confirm, read through the Bible. They used to dry them at the rooftops. And when they dry them at the rooftops, Rahab, before she goes to sleep, she goes up to the roof, and she talks to the two spies, and she tells them, I know the Lord has given you this land. She tells them, we are all afraid of you. Everyone in the land is living in terror. For we have heard how the Lord made a dry path for you through the Red Sea when you left Egypt. And we know what you did to Sihon and Og, the two Amorite kings east of Jordan River, whose people you completely destroyed. No wonder our hearts have melted in fear. No one has the courage to fight after hearing such things. For the Lord your God is the supreme God of the heavens above and the earth below. Higher. Later on, we see how the spies leave the Rahab's house, and they take oaths, and Rahab tells them, Junimeweza kuwaficha sijawafichua. Please, when you come back, I ask of you that when you come to conquer our city, I ask of you that you don't finish me, my father, my mother, and my siblings and their families. And he tells them, okay, we won't, and we have to have an agreement that even you should not try to report us that we were in your house and which side that we have left. And she tells them, you should run to this side for 3 days, and later on you can go on to wherever you're going to. And so the spies, they leave and they do that, and they come back to the Israelites, and they tell Joshua what they have heard about the nation. Just read through, it's very interesting. Later on, we see how Joshua prepares the Israelites in crossing over into Jordan. The Israelites find confidence in crossing over because their enemies are already afraid of the power of God that God has over the Israelites. Higher. We now discuss stepping into the promises. It requires action. Hearing the promises God has for you over your life is one thing, and stepping into it is another thing. Let's look at the story of David. Let's see how David stepped into his promises by taking action. And we see Samuel. Samuel was weeping. Samuel was weeping about Saul. And God told Samuel, Samuel, stop weeping. I have already rejected Saul. Now I want you to go to a city called Bethlehem. And when you go there, I want you to go to the house of Jesse. When you go to the house of Jesse, one of his sons is the future king of Israel, and you're going to anoint one of his sons. And so Samuel tells God, you know, if Saul hears there's another king that is going to be anointed, he's going to kill me. So what should I do? God tells Samuel, carry a lamb or a ram. I think it's a lamb. You carry a lamb and you'll go. When you're asked, you say you're coming to give sacrifices. And when he goes to Bethlehem, the elders that are there, when they see him, they are terrified. They are like, how are you? I hope you have good news for us. Hakuna ubaya. And he tells them, actually, hakuna ubaya, because I'm only here to carry out a sacrifice. And he calls the house of Jesse to come, and they go to the house of Jesse. Yes, they go to the house of Jesse with the elders. And when they go there, they now perform a sacrifice. When they perform a sacrifice there, when Samuel sees Eliab, the firstborn of Jesse's sons, he's like, he tells himself, kindani, I think this is the man that I'm here to anoint. Because of his structure, his build, he's strong, he's older than the others. But God tells Samuel, don't be fooled by your eyes, because I don't look at the outside appearance of a person. I look at the heart. And when now he wants to anoint them, God says, I have rejected Eliab, he's not the one. So Jesse starts presenting all his sons there. When he starts presenting all his sons, he's like, no, another one is brought, no, another one is brought, no. All of them, they're brought, and none of them is the one that God wants to, is the one that Samuel is here to anoint. And so Samuel asks, is there another person is there another son of yours? And Jesse says, yes, I have another son, the youngest. He's in the fields tending to the sheep and the goats. And he says, call for him. We won't eat until he's here. And when David is called in the fields, immediately he comes. He's a very young man, that now he's the one that is destined to be anointed to be king. Higher, and he's anointed, and later onwards, by the way, you can imagine you're the one who's going to be the future king. And when you're anointed to be the future king, you go back to your daily duties. Now you know David is a shepherd. He goes back to tending to his sheep. And when he goes back to tending to his sheep, he goes on with life as if ajanointiwa. And when you read through, you come to realize, when you read through, let me read some notes that I had made. David was anointed as the king of Israel by God, but David did not step into the palace the following day. He was anointed, and immediately after, he is back to working as usual in the fields. He tends to his sheep and goats while protecting his sheep and goats from lions and bears, which he kills in case they try to attack his flock. Just like David before God, before God places you on the throne or brings you into a season of possession, he has to prepare you in the wilderness. When David's moment to step into his season came, he did not hesitate. While King Saul's soldiers, including King Saul, trembled before Goliath, David did not have fear. Just like David, when God trains you in the secret place where no one is watching, your opportune time comes, just like David. When your opportune time comes, just like David, you don't have to run from giants. You face them in faith, believing and proclaiming, just like David, that the same God, David, when he goes to Saul, and Saul tells him, stop being ridiculous. You can't fight Goliath. He has been a man of war since his youth. And David tells him, give me the opportunity. I'm going to kill this Philistine. He tries to show Saul why he has the power to kill this Philistine. And he tells him, I have killed bears. I tend to my father's sheep and goats, and when I tend to them, in case a lion or a bear tries to kill them, I kill the lions and the bears. And he tells Saul, the same God who rescued me from the claws of the lion will rescue me from the Philistines. So I encourage you today, the same God who rescued you from the claws, whatever situation you are in, the claws of that lion, that situation, and the bears of whatever situation you are in, the same God will rescue you from the Philistines in your life. You know who your Philistine is. The spies sent by Joshua had seen the city of Jericho, and they saw the city that they are going to conquer, and seeing it and now coming with a good report that the people there, they are afraid. Their enemies, they are afraid because of the mighty works that God is doing over the Israelites when they are trying to conquer a nation, and they are scared. The Israelites, when you read through the book of Joshua, the city of Jericho, the gates, they are closed tightly so that the Israelites do not come to conquer. And God tells the Israelites, don't struggle, I will show you what I will do. And he tells Joshua, go, I want you and the Israelites to go round the wall of Jericho. When you go around the wall of Jericho for 6 days, each day you go around, no one should talk. The priests, the tribe of Levi, will lead, and then the priests are going to be ahead of them with horns, and the soldiers will also be ahead of the priests, and also behind the Levites who used to carry the Ark of the Tabernacle. And he tells them, you go around. On the seventh day, when you're going around, you'll go around 7 times. And the last time that you're going to be going around, the horns will be blown loudly. When they are blown loudly, the Israelites are expected to shout at the top of their voices. When they shout at the top of their voices, the walls of Jericho will all fall down. And immediately they fall down. Then the soldiers now, they go and conquer the city of Jericho, and they conquer the city of Jericho. They carry all the gold, the silver. They are reserved for the temple of God. But the other stuffs that were there, the other things, sheep, goats, human beings, children, everything that is there, it is destroyed. And later on, when you read through, the whole city is burnt down. But Rahab and her family, Joshua says, first, before you attack them, first bring the Rahab and her family before you destroy them. First bring Rahab and her family, and then the whole city is destroyed. David had an experience of what his life would be like in defending the people of Israel. The people of Israel, as when you're chosen to be a king, you're chosen to take care of the people. Just like he used to tend to his sheep as a shepherd, God gave him an experience of what he will possess. And just like he used to tend to the sheep, God prepares him how he's going to tend to the Israelites as their king. God gave David and the Israelites a glimpse of what their lives will look like. So the Israelites, they see those who are not able to see, they passed on. If you read through the book, but the people that were able to see the promised land, they're able to see the great wonders that God had promised them. And you know that promised land was a land that flowed in honey. So every one of us, just like David, Joshua, and the Israelites, God is giving you an experience of your future. Your future can be 2, 3, 5, 7, or 10 years, or 30 years, or maybe even 50 years time. During this time, God is training you in your secret place where no one is watching, so that when that opportune time comes, just like David, you don't run away from the giants, but instead you face them in faith. So, many of us have gotten the opportunity of standing where great people have stood. Let us first get a review of the great people in the Bible who stood there, and what we can do as them. Let us look at Joshua. Joshua stood where Moses stood, and the difference between Moses and Joshua was that, you know, Moses, he couldn't pass over, he couldn't cross over to the promised land because of his disobedience to God. Read through higher. Now the difference here is that Joshua, he steps in faith and obedience, and he crosses over in faith and obedience. Higher, we look at David. David also stands where Saul once stood. Saul, when you read through the Bible, he's said to be very tall, and he was tall, and he had a strong body that could be able to encounter Goliath. Goliath was a giant. And the difference between David was a young man, very young, in his youth. And the difference between Saul and David was that David stood where Saul once stood. The difference here is that David was ready to face Goliath. You know, Goliath he used to wake up for 40 days. If you read the Bible, for 40 days he used to wake up at the field of battle. Now you know they are divided. This side is for the Philistines, this side is for the Israelites. Every morning, this side that Goliath is, he used to wake up and he used to shout, "You slaves of Saul, simjitole mojenu akuja nipige." And they used to fear. Even Saul himself used to fear. But here is David. He's telling Saul, "Saul, see, you just give me an opportunity, I fight this man." And Saul tells him, "Stop being ridiculous. This man Goliath, this giant, he has been a man of war since his youth." Let us look at the story of Naomi, Ruth, and Orpah. Here is Ruth. Ruth stands where Orpah stood. Higher. You know, Naomi, her sons have died, and when her sons have died and her husband, she sees that her life is no more. But here is Ruth. Ruth tells her mother, she tells her mother-in-law, she tells her, wherever you go, I will go. Your people will be my people. Higher. So Ruth stands where Orpah is, because Orpah, she already gave back. She already gave up, and she turned back and she's like, I'm not going with you. And Ruth is so determined, and she tells her mother, I choose to go forward. Wherever you'll go, I will go. Your people will be my people. And we see how Ruth, she even with whatever challenges she had gone through, God blesses her through the way, and she's able to get married to a rich man by the name Boaz. Read through that story. It is a very good and interesting story. Higher. And now, many have had the opportunity to see, feel, experience their promises. But what makes the difference between the person who is living in the promise you desire to get is your ability to dare and take possession of it. So the difference between someone who is living in the dream or desire that you want is that person was daring enough to get it. So I want to encourage you, my dear brothers and sisters, today. You have spied on the land. You have seen where God has promised to take you. You have met the great people that God has enabled and also wanted you to rub shoulders with. You know, rubbing shoulders with someone is meeting them in person. God has enabled you to spy the land, see the promises that he has given you through dreams, visions, or even giving you desires. You've gone through situations and experiences. You've been in that wilderness that seemed impossible to live. But now my question to you today is, are you daring enough to step into God's promises over your life and possess it in faith, courage, just like the great people in the Bible that were daring enough to claim their possessions? Are you? So, please, my dear brothers and sisters, I encourage you, step into your greatness. Step into your season. It's your season of greatness, and it's your season to possess whatever God has promised you in your life. So let me leave it at that. I hope the word was encouraging. The word was encouraging, and now let us bow our heads for a word of prayer. Thank you, God, for the opportunity to share your word to your people. Thank you. Thank you for the encouraging word. I ask of you that you may help us to step into our season of greatness, and in order to possess whatever God you have destined for us. In Jesus' mighty name, pray and believe. Amen. Thank you.